What a proud moment, and we are really happy and honored with that report to all who really came to Kuwait and are still staying in Kuwait. Served 20 years with the United States Marine Corps and now doing the same job as a civilian with the US Army. Always wanted to serve in the armed forces and decided to join the Marine Corps because she liked the challenge. Well, what lady wouldn't love a challenge? Her favorite thing is to do away from work of writing and performing slam poetry. Well, let's see about that poetry. We will ask her in a minute. With us here in the studio, let's welcome Claudia, LaMantia Area Support Group in Kuwait, Camp Rifjan. And hello and good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
It is our honor, Claudia, and a really wonderful time to have you, especially in these dates. November has a lot of wonderful dates and special occasions. But 11/11 really marks a different occasion, a very noble and wonderful occasion. So tell us, how do the US really celebrate 11/11 differently from the Allies?
I think that the main difference is that Veterans Day for us is to celebrate active duty and veterans that are still living. So in contrast to our coalition partners, which is a Remembrance Day for them. We have that, our Memorial Day is in May. But this year we came together because we work here as a coalition, obviously doing everything jointly. And the ceremony was wonderful because it really showcased what each country, both Britain, the Commonwealth, the French, us all united doing this together, and honoring the veterans and remembering those that have passed and we have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Indeed. So the unity of it all, this is what resembles it.
Completely, yes. Yeah. So it was very special. It took a lot of coordination, and you can just really, you felt the emotion and the pride of each country are working together.
Well, we felt it as well when we saw the report, as well as all the speeches that has been said. But a lot of Kuwaitis, Ms. Claudia, really don't understand the significance of that date. So can you really explain it to them a little bit?
So it began with the end of World War I. That was on November 11th, at the 11th hour, 1919. And it began with Britain. They marked that in honor of all the dead of that war. And since it just, like a ripple effect, you know, other coalition or other countries joined in, as well as the United States, calling it by slightly different names, but really it's just, everywhere we honor our dead. You know, when somebody passes, whether it's family or in the service member, we look at it similarly. So it's really honoring their memory and the service that they committed. It's just, in this case, it's more public. And like I said, we adopted the same holiday until in 1954 we changed it to just Veterans Day, and then we have two, one for and like I said, Memorial Day in May.
Yes, indeed. And I think in the United Kingdom they had that significance of the poppy flower that resembles the days.
And that is the significance for them. After, you know, all the casualties fell in World War I. Then a lot of those fields started growing the poppies. And it just signified, not just remembering them, but, you know, their legacy still keeps going on. So that's the visual representation, the poppies. They wear it with pride, and every year they bring it out.
Indeed. I have been there and I have witnessed it in 2019. And it was really a significant and a great honor to honor the people who sacrificed their lives for a meaning. That's the meaning of sacrifice. You give it to give a life. When you give your life, you give thousands of people around you much more lives.
Of course, yes, so that we can continue living the life that we live throughout the world. Yes.
So I think it's really important that all of us really joined in that day, everybody, and they joined in that ceremony. I know that in Camp Rifjan you did this ceremony, and it was really wonderful and seeing you. Can you tell us a little bit about the significance of that?
Of the actual ceremony?
Yes.
This is the first time that we've done a joint ceremony, including all the countries. So as you see, our presenters were French. They provided the different parts of the ceremonies to put it together. The most important thing about that day was the 2 moments of silence at 11 o'clock, and it was particularly important that it was done at that time, because they do it worldwide, wherever they're at. At 11 o'clock, they will stop their ceremonies and have 2 minutes of silence. And then you can feel, you know, the love, the emotion at that time for that. Yes, completely.
Yes, indeed. So 2 minutes.
Yes.
The 11th hour of the 11th of the 11th.
Yes.
And this year marks the 2022. So that, I think it really has a big significance upon those numbers.
Yes, yes. And I think it's, yes, another great example of what we already do every day, working jointly. And then from now on is just a perfect example of what we can do in the future and any other ceremonies.
So, Ms. What day does this day mean to you personally, since you served during a time when the United States Army was fighting 2 wars in Iraq, and at the same time it was in Afghanistan? So,
yeah, veterans obviously takes a completely personal feeling for me. You know, having served 20 years in the Marine Corps, I did not go to Afghanistan. I did go to Iraq a couple of times.
Yes.
So being a veteran myself, and most of my friends are veterans, and family members. So to honor them and their legacy, because a lot of them are not here anymore. So we want to keep their legacy going, make sure that their memories, you know, honored, remembered, and we continue doing what they did.
Miss Claudia, you
Yes.
said that you came to Kuwait 20 years ago, right?
The first time I was here was in 1994.
94.
Yes.
So let's say that
Yes.
in 1994 you were first here.
Yes.
So that was we were calling it as a shock, a different culture, everything.
Culture,
Tell me
yes.
about the first time.
The first time I came to look at the vast desert.
Yes. All those sands and yellow colors.
Yes. The camels. Obviously, and in those days it was Camp Doha.
Yes.
Yes, and then we also went up to the desert to do some exercises. So I think what was really capturing too was the sunsets and the sunrises. There are none other. Just that beautiful, yeah. And obviously the hospitality of the people here. That just hasn't. It's only grown since I was here the first time.
So in 1994, you just saw a little bit of the desert, but now it's a different experience.
Very
right?
different, yes. Being out of uniform, now working as a civilian, and because I live in the city,
yes.
So I can be closer. And now that the pandemic has slowed down, even more of an opportunity to see everything out. You know, it's a beautiful city, gorgeous city. Like I said, the hospitality is only grown. The architecture.
Yes.
You know, the mosques are, each one, I don't know which one is more beautiful here.
Tell us about your favorite places that you have been to Kuwait to since that.
So homes, friends' homes,
yeah.
yes, talking to them, you know, sharing tea, stories, a family life. The camel races was interesting, going to see the stables, the horse stables.
So do you play sports here in Kuwait?
I watch a lot of sports.
That's a good. This is a woman after my heart. She doesn't do sports. She watches it. Just me.
It's much safer.
It is. It is.
Yes.
You see, everybody really gets confused about that thing, but this is the thing.
But I did have the pleasure of watching the girls play volleyball during the International Day of Peace, and that was wonderful because you see the talent of these young women here, and it just seems like all of the Kuwaiti youth are involved in a lot of sports, from soccer to
golf. We have golf.
Oh, yes. Everything. Just pick a sport, and they wanted to do it. So I know we're excited about participating more with that, having some of the soldiers come out and participate, and vice versa, having them coming on.
Well, this is really a great, because I know that participating in one's life, that means you are indulging in the culture of that.
Yes.
And really, sometimes whenever you are away from a culture, you don't know anything about it, so you get the wrong ideas. But indulging, that's different, right?
Yes, because sports unifies people. You know, having meals together. Here is just always an event. Every dinner is just so nice. You know, you take your time, you get to know people, and that really just brings us closer together.
I think you had a little bit of matchboos on the side, right?
Oh, a little bit, a lot of, yes, my favorite, yes.
Your favorite. A lot has been said. That's the national dish of Kuwait, I think, the matchboos.
I could have it every day.
Really?
Yes.
I knew now. I really relate to you.
Yeah. No, a lot of delicious food here. Very healthy. It's trying to decide what to eat, you know, can be a challenge, but there's so much. There's so much diversity here, yes.
We have a lot to talk about. There is so much more I want to ask, but time isn't always on our side.
I understand, yes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Claudia.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and an honor being here with you. Look forward to doing more.
Yes, we look forward as well. I
Yes.
look forward to seeing you more, and thanking our guest, Claudia, LaMantia Area Support Group in Kuwait, Camp Raif Jan. And we had that proud moment of 11/11, and everybody really appreciate the sacrifices that the veterans had given us to support our future, to support our continuance on this wonderful earth. Now, how about a quick break, then continue. Good morning, Kuwait.